Hey guys, it's Diana. Welcome back to my channel, and I just wanted to tell a couple of quick stories here. This will probably be a relatively short video. Today is Monday. I got my second dose of Pfizer's COVID vaccine, and I wanted to talk a little bit about that experience as well as something funny that happened this morning when we were getting coffee on the way there. So we usually go to a Starbucks that is like about 10 minutes away in like an outdoor shopping center, and it was on the way to the vaccination site anyway. So, you know, we went in, got our drinks, blah blah blah. Then they're like, oh, the manager wants to speak to you, and it's like, oh no. But it turns out that the manager comes out and asks if we know about Ira, and my father is a little confused and was like, who's Ira? Because, you know, that's a name of somebody spelled differently. But the manager was referring to Ira, the app, the smartphone app for blind and visually impaired people that is a visual interpreting service. I have talked about Ira a little bit more in depth in the past. I will link my blindness related playlist down in the description like I always do, and up in the cards as well. There are probably some videos in there. My most recent live stream that happened a few months ago, we also talked about Ira, and there was somebody who worked for Ira in the chat as well, answering some questions, which was really great. But basically, they were asking me if I knew what Ira was and about their partnership, because Starbucks and Ira have partnered together to offer Starbucks as an access location for Ira, meaning that if you have the app, you can activate that offer and use the app for free at that location instead of using your prepaid minutes. Originally, when this launched, it was only in specific cities. It launched a few months ago, and it was only in certain cities. I believe Boston, DC, I think San Francisco, and a few others. I can't remember, maybe Chicago, I don't know. The manager said, oh, we are partnering with them, and was talking about it. Now, I don't know if I've ever talked about this in the past. I probably have, maybe a little bit during my ACB convention videos 2 years ago, but I used to work with Ira. They, a couple of years ago, had an offer going on when I lived in Massachusetts that made the MBTA, which is the public transit, the subway, train system, everything in Massachusetts, an Ira access location. And so I had done a lot of marketing for that. So I thought it was really funny that the Starbucks manager put two and two together, being like, oh, here's a blind person, here's this app that helps blind people, let me see if they know about it. For the most part, people generally kind of migrate toward Be My Eyes, which is a similar thing, except there are some differences. Be My Eyes is completely free, versus Ira has a free option and also paid tiers. But the people working on the other end of the call on Be My Eyes are random people off the street. They are not trained like the Ira agents are, who have to go through a vetting process. And I'm pretty sure that the Be My Eyes calls are not encrypted, versus like the Ira ones, I'm almost positive are end-to-end encrypted. Somebody in the comments correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what I heard from a lot of people. I thought that was really funny, you know, that happened. And I don't know if that means that like they're expanding the access locations to include more Starbucks. I haven't been keeping up with the news. I still get the email newsletters sent to me every month from Ira, but I haven't been reading them. So anyway, we got our coffees, we left, we went to the vaccination place, and they were serving everybody who had appointments between 11 and 12, and our appointment was more closer to 11, so we just decided to go in. We were gonna wait until it was a little bit closer to our appointment time, but since the sign said, you know, everybody who had appointments during this hour, we just went in. There were really not as many people there this time as there were 3 weeks ago when we went. I don't know if that was just like the time of day or what, but it was way quicker. Still very efficient. We definitely didn't have to wait as long this time as we did last time. I think we were in line for like at least 45 minutes when we went for our first dose, versus today I think we were waiting for all of like 10 to 15 minutes. We were in there for a total of 35 to 40 minutes today, roughly. Okay, maybe we were in line for 20, but we weren't waiting that long, versus like last time we were there for like a good couple of hours. It went very quickly and efficiently. We got our second doses, we got the remainder of our vaccination cards filled out, we got stickers. Here is what the stickers look like. It is a round yellow sticker, and it says, I got my COVID-19 vaccine, in black and blue lettering. And there's a white box with a red check mark in it underneath. And then underneath that, there is a website that says immunize.org/COVID-19. It went really well. The only thing is that it hurt. Now, the first time that we got our first doses 3 weeks ago, and I got Pfizer's, so I don't know if it's like this with Moderna. My mother got Moderna and she's going for her second dose tomorrow at the time of me filming this. When we got our first doses, it didn't hurt at all, like when they were doing the injection. And I usually do experience pain like at the time of injection, but every so often, you know, it's fine. However, my dad typically doesn't. He never has any issues with shots. Today though, he even said the same thing. Like, it really hurt going in and he was surprised about it too. It definitely wasn't the person who was administering it. I think it was just the nature of the vaccine. I don't know, but my arm is really sore. I got my vaccine 4 hours ago, so I guess like now is the time that the arm would start to be sore and maybe I could start exhibiting some side effects. But I mean, like last time my arm didn't really start to hurt me until much later in the evening. So I took 2 Tylenol earlier because they said specifically do not take Advil, take Tylenol if you have any issues. And you know, then we had to just sit and wait for 15 minutes and then they had to check our vaccination sites to make sure that they weren't irritated or anything, and then we could be on our way. The only thing that bothered me is like a specific problem that happened to me. So when we were in line to go into the next room to get the vaccine, there was a lady standing there who was directing people into like other smaller lines, like for each column of tables. So she told us what line to get into to wait for the table, and then, you know, there was a second lady afterwards who told us which table to go to. But this first lady who was dividing everybody up into different lines, so right now I have a hooded sweatshirt on, like a zip up hoodie, and a t-shirt underneath. My dad had a t-shirt and he was carrying like a sweatshirt with him, and I was also carrying a fleece jacket because it was cooler out earlier this morning. And so the lady was like telling my dad, oh yeah, keep your jacket off, blah blah blah. And then she said, and can you help her take her jacket off? Like about me, but not talking to me directly. First off, that's really rude. Like, why wouldn't she just ask me directly instead of asking the person that I'm with? And secondly, how the heck does she think I dressed myself today? Like, I don't get it. So I was very taken aback by it, as you may understand, and I just said, no, I can do it myself. Like, I'm fine, which is true. I'm fine, I can do it myself. But I just thought that was so ridiculous. Like, there were a lot of people in wheelchairs who were there, and I never heard her asking them those questions. So I don't know if it was just like she had never met a blind person before, or she just thought I was completely incompetent. But I just thought it was rude. And maybe I'm like thinking way too much into it, but it was rude. I mean, I've told this to a few different people today, and both you know, visually impaired and sighted, and they've said the same thing. Like, that's uncalled for. However, it's fine. We got the vaccines, it's good, and now, you know, just have to wait for them to be fully effective. I think it takes like 7 to 14 days. I don't remember which is which, like if Pfizer is 7 and Moderna is 14 or vice versa. There's like a time period that you have to wait until it's like fully effective. And like I said, I think tomorrow I am not going to do anything because I am prepared to feel side effects from the vaccine. Hey guys, it's future me. It's Wednesday, and wow, I did not feel good at all yesterday. I felt like for the morning, pretty much, like for the good portion of the day actually, that I had the flu. I didn't have a fever, but I felt achy, I was fatigued, I had the chills, I felt hot. It was bad. Like, I was nauseous. It was not good. I took Tylenol around the clock. My arm feels much better today. It barely even bothers me, and I feel much better today. I had a little bit of a headache this morning, but I think that's because I was just really hungry. I didn't eat a whole lot yesterday because I felt so nauseous, but I am very glad that I feel better. My parents, on the other hand, they didn't do too badly. My mother got her second dose yesterday, Tuesday. She is feeling achy and a little bit fatigued, but otherwise, like, not that bad. She doesn't have flu-like symptoms. My dad just felt fatigued yesterday for a bit. It came on like later, I think, in the evening, in the day, like in the afternoon. But I heard from a few people that if you're younger, you may have more negative reaction to the vaccine. I don't know how true that is, but I've heard that it has to do with immune systems, because I know a few other family members who are in their 20s and you know, early 30s who've gotten their second dose and they kind of felt the same way that I did with mine, versus older adults not necessarily feeling like that. So I don't know. Your mileage may vary with these vaccines, but yeah. So there you have it. That's this week's video. Those are the stories. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.